Revealing Jesus, releasing destinies. This is Celebration TV. Revealing Jesus, releasing destinies. This is Celebration TV.
Welcome to News Desk on Celebration TV. I am Comfort James.
And I'm Femi Mark.
And the news making the rounds.
Please stay with us as we bring you details. Watch robust, objective, analytical, informative, educative, entertaining and inspiring news on Celebration TV News Desk. Every weekday, 11 a.m. GMT plus 1. That is 11 a.m. GMT plus 1 on Mondays through Fridays.
You are welcome to Sports Corner. I am Ivan Agafe.
Celebration TV News Desk. The whole truth.
Lekki tollgate shooting. Judicial panel seeks evidence from CSOs. Polls closed across Egypt after first phase to parliamentary elections. Amikani Barrett confirmed to U.S. Supreme Court. Federal government to install 1 million electricity meters, says Minister. Eagles to begin 2022 World Cup qualifiers May 2021. Welcome Celebration Television News Desk. I am Nicholas Akosile Walter. Please stay with us as we'll bring you details of our news after the short break. You welcome back now. The news in full. Lekki tollgate shooting. Judicial panel seeks evidence from CSO. The retired Justice Doris Okuwobi-led Judicial Panel of Inquiry and Restitution set up by the Lagos State Government has called on civil society organizations to assist it with credible evidence that will assist it investigate the shooting of peaceful protesters by soldiers at the Lekki toll gate last Tuesday. The chairman of the panel, Justice Okuwobi, made the call on Monday while addressing journalists at the Lagos Court of Arbitration, where the panel will be sitting. The original mandate of the panel was to look into complaints of human rights violation against the men of the disbanded Special Anti-Robbery Squad. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu later added investigation of a Lekki tollgate shooting by soldiers to it. Justice Okuwobi also disclosed that the panel had so far received 15 petitions against SARS officers, just as she assured complainants of prompt compensation on merit. Meanwhile, a chieftain of the People's Democratic Party, Chief Bode George, has suggested the dismantling of the Lekki tollgate in Lagos, where NSAS protesters were allegedly shot at by soldiers last Tuesday. George further said in the place of the tollgate, a monument should be erected to honor the memories of the protesters who allegedly lost their lives after the shooting by soldiers. Moving forward quickly, direct officials state to actually share COVID-19 palliatives now, NLC tells federal government. The Nigerian Labour Congress has asked the federal government to order the immediate release of all the welfare materials provided to cushion the effect of the coronavirus pandemic on Nigerians. The union said the directive should apply to state governments which it's accused of hoarding the items, adding that government officials cannot afford to create a scenario that precipitates mass unrest within this delicate and fragile milieu in global history. The NLC President Ayuba Waba said this in a statement titled, NLC demands the immediate release of all COVID-19 palliatives and relief welfare materials and provisions stored in warehouses across Nigeria, which was made available on Monday. The statement read in part, the Nigeria Labour Congress has followed with some keen concern the unfolding incident across the country of mass storming and looting of relief welfare materials and provisions stored away in different warehouses. These palliative provisions are believed to have been procured by government to relieve citizens of the impact of the COVID-19 lockdown and associated hardship. It is obvious that the palliative provisions that were procured by the government for immediate distribution to the masses of their critical times of need and to assuage the hardship occasioned by the lockdown were hoarded and held back by some government officials. Quickly, in another development right now, federal government removes HND and degrees disparity for paramilitary officers. The federal government has withdrawn the ranking and career progression disparity between higher national diploma and degree holders in the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, Nigeria Immigration Service, Nigerian Correctional Service, and the Federal Fire Service. This was disclosed in a memo dated October 16, 2020 and signed by the Secretary of the Civil Defense, Correctional, Fire and Immigration Services Board, Alassane Yakmot. This is happening 3 years after the board, under its SY chairman and then Minister of Interior, Lieutenant General Abdurrahman Danzabau, retired, approved the regularization of the dichotomy between holders of university degrees and HND in all security services. The memo, titled Harmonization of Ranks and Salaries in the Civil Defense, Correctional, Fire and Immigration Services, was issued at the end of a meeting of the board held between September 24th and 25th. It stated that all candidates recruited by the board with HND will be placed as assistant superintendent to compass 08 level and can rise to the highest position in their respective services without discriminatory ceiling or hindrance. The memo directed that all inspectorate ranks from senior inspector to chief inspector 1 are abolished, adding that all these officers would be converted to appropriate superintendent ranks. With this development, all ranks in the paramilitary services have been aligned with that of the Nigerian police, the memo stated, noting that new ranking system and badges of ranks would be introduced soon. The board further said it was consulting with relevant government agencies on how best to go about the alignment of salaries of personnel with the Nigerian police structure. Quickly, coming from around Africa, polls close across Egypt after first phase of parliamentary elections. Polls closed in Egypt after the first phase of parliamentary elections, in which candidates loyal to President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi are expected to sweep to victory. Some 63 million voters out of Egypt's more than 100 million people are eligible to elect 568 of the 596 lawmakers in the lower house, widely seen as rubber stamp body for executive policies. The remaining deputies will be appointed by former Army General turned President Sisi, whose government has over the past 6 years silenced any serious political opposition to his rule. The first phase of voting took place over the weekend in 14 provinces, including Cairo, Alexandria, and Aswan. The second stage of voting to be held on November 7th and 8th, and it will cover Egypt's 13 other provinces. The runoffs are scheduled to take place in November and December, and the newly elected lawmakers will begin their terms in January. The new parliament will be second to convene under Sisi, who actually took office in 2014 after the previous year, leading the military ouster of Islamist President Mohamed Morsi. And still coming from around Africa quickly, France and Mali disagree on whether to talk to jihadists to end insurgency. France and Mali had a difference of opinion over whether to talk to jihadists to help end the Sahel state's 8-year-old insurgency, with French Foreign Minister Jean-Yves Le Drian ruling the option out. During a news conference in the capital Bamako, Ledrain distinguished between engaging with armed groups which had signed peace accords and terror groups. Ledrain's visit marks the first by a French politician since young army officer toppled President Ibrahim Boubacar Keïta on August 18. After international pressure, Mali's military junta handed over to an interim government which is meant to stage elections within 18 months. Ledrain said this position was shared by the United Nations Security Council and the G5 Sahel countries, but in a sign of a policy rift, Mali's interim leader disagreed with the French official. After international pressure, Mali's military junta handed over to an interim government which is meant to stage elections within 18 months. Okay, and the Mali has borne witness to conflict since 2012, and thousands of soldiers and civilians have been killed since then. Intense fighting has continued despite the presence of French and UN troops, prompting many to argue the dialogue with jihadists is the best way to end the bloodshed. We'll go on a short break. When we come back, we'll bring you more updates from the United States of America. Please stay with us.
Welcome to News Desk on Celebration TV. I am Comfort James.
And I'm Femi Mark.
And the news making the rounds.
Please stay with us as we bring you details. Watch robust, objective, analytical, informative, educative, entertaining and inspiring news on Celebration TV News Desk. Every weekday, 11 a.m. GMT+1, that is 11 a.m. GMT+1 on Mondays through Fridays.
You are welcome to Sports Corner. I am Ivan Agafe.
Celebration TV News Desk, the whole truth. The time has come for the gathering of sons to get recharged and revitalized.
The church that cannot be despised is a church of testimonies.
An outburst of revival.
Shagada. There's a revival! Let's take it.
International Ministers Conference, October edition.
Testimonies are the trademark of God's mandate.
Apostle Johnson and Dr. Lizzie Suleiman, 28th through 30th October 2020. Ministers without blemish. Time 8 a.m. and 3 p.m. GMT+1. Happening live at the International Worship Center, Omega Fire Ministries, Kilometer 132, Benin Okene Abuja Expressway, Auchi, Edo State, Nigeria. For inquiries, please call. Ministers without blemish. Prepare for your next level. The wait is over. You can now connect to Celebration TV's official website, www.mycelebrationtv.com. Specially designed for your satisfaction, you get to access a lineup of inclusive contents and programs of Celebration TV. Get the latest updates and news stories from our news desk. Be kept abreast on infos about all outreaches and events of the Resurrection Apostle Johnson and Dr. Lizzie Suleiman. Watch Celebration TV on the go via our 24/7 live streaming service. With all these and more, we'll make your partnership with us as we take the gospel around the world way easier with just a click. Hurry now. Visit www.mycelebrationtv.com.
News Desk on Celebration TV. I am Comfort James.
And I'm Femi Mark.
And the news making the rounds.
Please stay with us as we bring you details. Watch robust, objective, analytical, informative, educative, entertaining and inspiring news on Celebration TV News Desk. Every weekday, 11 a.m. GMT+1, that is 11 a.m. GMT+1 on Mondays through Fridays.
You are welcome to Sports Corner. I am Ivan Agafe.
Celebration TV News Desk, the whole truth.
Welcome back and thanks for joining us once more. Now, updates from the United States of America. Amy Coney Barrett confirmed to U.S. Supreme Court. The U.S. Senate has confirmed Judge Amy Coney Barrett to the Supreme Court in a victory for President Donald Trump a week before the general elections. Mr. Trump's fellow Republicans voted 52-48 to approve the judge, overcoming the unified opposition of Democrats. The 48-year-old took the oath of office at the White House alongside President Trump. Her appointment seals for the foreseeable future of a 6-3 conservative majority on the top U.S. judicial body. Only one Republican, Senator Susan Collins, who faces a tough re-election battle in Maine, voted against the president's nominee on Monday evening's vote. The new justice is the third appointed by the Republican president after Neil Gorsuch in 2017 and Brett Kavanaugh in 2018. The federal appeals court judge from Indiana fills the vacancy left by Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, a liberal icon who died last month. President Trump just returned from campaigning in Pennsylvania, presided over Justice Barrett's swearing-in ceremony on Monday night. Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas, a conservative, administered the oath of office to his new colleague. The ceremony took place on the South Lawn of the Executive Mansion a month after a similar event to unveil Justice Barrett as the president's nominee was linked to a COVID-19 outbreak that was followed by the president himself testing positive for the disease. And more updates quickly from Italy. Protest erupts across Italy over antivirus measures. Violent protests broke out across Italy over new restrictions to curb the country's second wave of COVID. Clashes were reported in several major cities, including Turin, where Molotov cocktails were thrown at officers. In Milan, tear gas was used to disperse protesters, while violence was also reported in Naples. The demonstrations began soon after the national government's order to close restaurants, bars, gyms, and cinemas came into effect at 6 p.m. local time. Many regions have also imposed nighttime curfews, including Lombardy, where Milan is, and Piedmont, where Turin is. Protests also broke out in about a dozen other cities, including Rome and Palermo. While the initial national lockdown earlier this year was complied with peacefully, the announcement of renewed measures has been met with immediate pushback. Small businesses argue that they are still recovering from the first lockdown and that more restrictions could bankrupt them. A number of luxury stores in central Turin, including a Gucci boutique, were actually ransacked by crowds that spilled into the street after the rules came into force. In Milan, crowds chanted "Freedom, freedom, freedom" as they clashed with police in the city center. The city is the capital of Lombardy, which has actually been particularly hard hit by the virus. Restaurants, bars, and cafes must stop table services at 6 and offer only takeaway until midnight. Contact sports are prohibited, but shops and most businesses will remain open. And quickly go straight to business news right now. Sears federal government to install 1 million electricity meters, says minister. The federal government of Nigeria said it will install at least 1 million meters in the residence of unmetered electricity consumers before the end of this year. Maman has said President Muhammadu Buhari had directed a mass metering program for the power sector starting immediately. The minister stated that the federal government was creating job opportunities for Nigerian youths in the power sector through key programs. He said the 5 million solar home system project mass metering scheme, among others, were some of the projects. Mamam, who disclosed this during a stakeholders meeting in Jalingo, Taraba State, addressed youths on the need to foster peace and harmony. The minister also spoke on the backdrop of the NSAS protest, lauded the youths for making their voices heard on developmental issues. He, however, urged the youths to shun violent protest while giving the government a chance to implement their demands. Mam told his audience that a 5 million solar power project will be implemented through the Economic Sustainability Plan being steered by Vice President Professor Yemi Osibanjo. And still on business news, quickly, low passenger volume as domestic flights resume fully. Domestic flights have resumed at Nigeria's busiest airport, the Murtala Mohammed Airport, Lagos, but on a slow start. The Lagos state government had placed a 3-day curfew in the state in a bid to address the violent protests that erupted in the country's commercial city following the recent NSAS demonstrations. The curfew warranted the halt of domestic flight operations into and out of the busiest airport in the country, a development that led to less traffic in other airports across the country. Airline operators said that since the curfew was lifted by the state government, passengers had been cautious about flying, particularly because of the tense situation in many parts of the country. This came as Air Peace, an indigenous airline on domestic and international routes, announced that it will commence regular commercial flights from its Lagos hub into Johannesburg, South Africa, before the end of the year. Officials of the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria, as well as those of domestic and international airlines, confirmed that domestic passenger volume has actually been on a slow start despite full flight resumption. We'll go on a short break. We'll come back. We'll bring you news from the sporting world. Stay with us.
Welcome to News Desk on Celebration TV. I am Comfort James.
And I'm Femi Mark.
And the news making the rounds.
Please stay with us as we bring you details. Watch robust, objective, analytical, informative, educative, entertaining and inspiring news on Celebration TV News Desk. Every weekday, 11 a.m. GMT+1, that is 11 a.m. GMT+1 on Mondays through Fridays.
You are welcome to Sports Corner. I am Ivan Agafe.
Celebration TV News Desk, the whole truth. The time has come for the gathering of sons to get recharged and revitalized.
The church that cannot be despised is a church of testimonies.
An outburst of revival.
Shagada. There's a revival! Let's take it.
International Ministers Conference, October edition.
Testimonies are the trademark of God's mandate.
Apostle Johnson and Dr. Lizzie Suleiman, 28th through 30th October 2020. Ministers without blemish. Time 8 a.m. and 3 p.m. GMT+1. Happening live at the International Worship Center, Omega Fire Ministries, Kilometer 132, Benin Okene Abuja Expressway, Auchi, Edo State, Nigeria. For inquiries, please call Ministers without blemish. Prepare for your next level. The wait is over. You can now connect to Celebration TV's official website, www.mycelebrationtv.com. Specially designed for your satisfaction, you get to access a lineup of inclusive contents and programs of Celebration TV. Get the latest updates and news stories from our news desk. Be kept abreast on infos about all outreaches and events of the Resurrection Apostle Johnson and Dr. Lizzie Suleiman. Watch Celebration TV on the go via our 24/7 live streaming service. With all these and more, we make you partnership with us as we take the gospel around the world way easier with just a click. Hurry now. Visit www.mycelebrationtv.com.
Welcome to News Desk on Celebration TV. I am Comfort James.
And I'm Femi Marks.
And the news making the rounds.
Please stay with us as we bring you details. Watch robust, objective, analytical, informative, educative, entertaining and inspiring news on Celebration TV News Desk. Every weekday, 11 a.m. GMT+1, that is 11 a.m. GMT+1 on Mondays through Fridays.
You are welcome to Sports Corner. I am Ivan Agafe.
Celebration TV News Desk, the whole truth.
And you're welcome to Sports News. Eagles to begin 2022 World Cup qualifiers May 2021. World Cup governing body FIFA has confirmed that the Super Eagles will begin the second round of the Qatar 2022 World Cup qualifiers on May 31st, 2021. A new date for the second round of the 2022 World Cup qualifiers. That's it. The second round of the qualifiers was initially scheduled for October 2020, but has now been postponed to next year due to the disruption of the football calendar following the outbreak of the coronavirus pandemic. According to FIFA, the second round of the qualifiers ends in September 2021. Meanwhile, the first and second leg of the third round will be played between November 8th and 16th, 2021. The third round will see the 10 group winners from the second round drawn into 5 home and away ties. The winners of each tie advance to the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. The Eagles are drawn in the same group with Cape Verde, Central African Republic and Liberia for the second round of the African qualifiers. Now, another sports news quickly. LMC approves 5 substitutions for 2020-2021 season. The league management company has confirmed that 5 substitutions will be allowed in the 2020-2021 Nigerian Professional Football League season. The Nigeria Football Federation earlier this month gave the go-ahead for the resumption of the country's elite men football league from November 15, 8 months after it was suspended due to COVID-19 outbreak in the country. However, with fears that players might experience several injuries due to a long spell of inactivity, LMC boss Shehu Diko confirmed that 5 substitutions will be allowed in the incoming season. NPFL clubs are currently preparing for the league restart, with several teams participating in different pre-season tournaments across the country. The NFF has insisted that all clubs must adhere strictly to the COVID-19 guidelines as directed by the Health Ministry and the National Center for Disease Control. And that has brought us to the end of the news on Celebration Television News Desk. In case you're just joining us, here's the news headlines recap. Lekki tollgate shooting, judicial panel 6 evidence from CSOs. Polls close across Egypt after first phase of parliamentary elections. Amir Coney Barrett confirmed to U.S. Supreme Court. The federal government to install 1 million electricity meters, says minister. And Eagles to begin 2022 World Cup qualifiers May 2021. And quickly, we have photo of the day. You could practically see somebody who has a shoe stepped on already. The first one, when you see that, when you see, you just conclude that this person has actually been oppressed, not minding the fact that you've not seen it all. At the end of the day, the other one will tell you that it was just a prank. What does that tell us? The half-truth can be deceiving. Know all the facts before you comment on any issue. You can drop your comment on our social media platforms on Facebook, Celebration TV, Instagram, My Celebration TV, Twitter at My Celebration TV, YouTube, Celebration TV. Always remember that the continuous transformation of our society is a collective responsibility of all. No matter the office you hold as a nation's president, a thought leader, an opinion molder, a character builder, a professional, or as a person pursuing passion, you have a duty to give your all to making the society a better place for us and the generations to come. Play your part today do it without diligence. Thanks once more for staying with us on our news desk. I remain Nicholas Akosile Walter. Thanks for watching.
Welcome to News Desk on Celebration TV. I am Comfort James.
And I'm Femi Mark.
And the news making the rounds.
Please stay with us as we bring you details. Watch robust, objective, analytical, informative, educative, entertaining and inspiring news on Celebration TV News Desk. Every weekday, 11 a.m. GMT plus 1. That is 11 a.m. GMT plus 1 on Mondays through Fridays.
You are welcome to Sports Corner. I am Ivan Agafe.
Celebration TV News Desk. The whole truth.